And we are here live from the school parking lot, and I forgot to post that we are going to be live on YouTube, so I'm sure nobody else is here. But that's okay. We are here. We are bringing you the news from the week, whether it is to entertain you on your long run or to give you something to talk about with your running group. We've got you covered. Um, well, first of all, speaking of we've got you covered, someone who never needs coverage is the guy who climbed the skyscraper. Did you end up watching Skyscraper after I texted you?
I saw the accelerated version, so the 2-minute version of him doing it after the fact. So impressive. I
Crazy.
and when did Netflix get into a sort of live? And is this a sport? I don't even know. But anyway, like it's just like when you texted me it, I'm like, what running event is this? And it obviously was not a running event.
Right.
So this is the guy climbing the world's tallest building in I don't even know where it is.
Taipei, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
The
How
Taipei
was it?
101. It was really cool. Yeah, I mean, it feels like a similar realm to like endurance sports. So I don't know, like to me it was interesting. I was surprised he didn't bring any fuel with him. It sounds like he normally would have, but wasn't able to because of his pants or something. So it's like a 90-minute effort, and no fuel, just chalk for his hands. Pretty crazy.
Yeah, because if you and this is free climbing too, right? So there is no rope, there is no net. If you
Right.
make a mistake, just the mental fatigue of 90-minute effort, you know how it is, right? If you just lose focus for a moment, he can't lose focus for 90 minutes or he dies.
It was so stressful. Although after the fact here, because I never saw Free Solo, but now I'm going to have to watch his documentary. But from what I'm hearing from people who know him specifically and free soloing slash climbing more than I do, that like this was like as much as like you could be guaranteed fine, like this was like not hard for him. Um Allegedly, according again, hard for everyone else, but like because he's the only person who ever to do the El Capitan in Yosemite free soloed or whatever.
I did see that documentary.
Was it amazing?
It was. I mean, it's the same thing. It's that risk of like, man, it's just one loose rock, one from death. That's the thing that's intriguing, and why someone would want to do that. A lot of these people don't make it to 50.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's what I was saying to Josh. I was like, I didn't realize they were recording on a delay too. So like obviously I was like, because Netflix isn't gonna let us like see it
Yeah,
go.
that would be a bad for their brand.
Oh
Maybe
my
good for their
gosh,
brand. I
right?
don't know which, but yeah, terrible.
Horrible. But yeah, so it was obviously on a delay, but I was like, that just would be so crazy. And I'm like, now, not to like I don't wish anything to happen to this guy. Obviously, that'd be insane. But like, do you think he dies doing this, or do you think he dies just like everyone else? It's kind of crazy. I don't know.
Yeah, I think ultimately, I mean, again, I don't know that it's above 50%, but it's still very high percentage of these people die. It's the same people that wear squirrel suits, right? Those flying squirrel suits.
Right,
Not
right.
like yeah, no, not like pajamas
I was
in
like,
the
squirrel
squirrel
costumes
outfit.
are fatal?
No, no, but those flying wing suits. That
Yeah.
many of them, they just take too many risks, or there's a calculation, there's a wind that's wrong, there's a tree in the way, something causes them to end up being killed. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Crazy.
same. It's the same group of people. It's the cortisol junkies.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah,
On to sports we know a little more about, and I see you don't have this in your news. Your boy Grant Fisher will make his half marathon debut at the New York City Half. You see this?
I didn't see that one.
What?
What? Oh, I do see it now, though. Grant Fisher on an American world record assault, New York City half debut. Yeah.
Are you pumped? Do you think he's gonna do well?
Um. Yeah, I think that he runs the 10,000. So what's that? 6.2.
So it's half ish.
Yeah, so it's halfway there. I mean, he's certainly top 5 endurance athletes in the world. It's a big jump, a little bit different. It's going to tap into some different speed, right? He's a shorter distance, long distance guy typically.
Yeah.
So I think he'll do well. I don't think he'll be world record assault. That's just
Right.
my opinion. Yeah.
I mean, your boy Jakob did, in my opinion, well, but, like, I think for him, it was, like, not well when I think it was last year or 2 years ago when he did a half. He struggled.
Yeah. I don't know if it was last year or the year before. Time flies when you're 60 some years old.
True.
Yeah, and I saw some news about him too. He's there's people worried about his season again. If you recall, he had a great very start to the indoor season last year, and then Achilles issues cropped up, and he couldn't really do much until came back for the World Championships in the fall, and he hadn't trained, so not good. But anyway,
Yeah.
I don't think he's even starting his season until June this year. So
Oh,
different
man.
approach. And is it maybe it's cautionary, maybe it's smarter. I'm not sure which. We'll find out.
Yeah. Alright. Well, do you have any updates, or are we gonna jump right in?
Well, a quick update, yeah. So I think there's been many podcasts I've been on that you keep asking me if I've trained, and I'm like, no, no, I haven't
Yeah, I
started
just
yet.
gave
But
up.
so the last 2 months I've been saying that. Well,
Yeah.
this week I can say I've run 3 times since our
Whoa!
last podcast. Yep. Now again, they were short runs. This is just the discipline of getting out and doing it. One was a 1 mile run, and two were 2 mile runs. And so, but 3 times I went out there in the cold weather in the garage. Now, again, the garage is the same temperature as outside,
Yeah.
so it's very cold. But yeah, just the discipline of going out and getting in that routine again. So starting to feel it. My sugar intake has gone down dramatically. The pastries have been cut out. The sweet drinks have been cut out.
Good.
So yeah, so I'm feeling it. I feel like I'm getting back into it.
That's good. That's
How about
exciting.
you? Yeah.
Oh, I'm definitely not getting back into it. I mean, I'm always in it, but not fully in it. Like, I'm gonna run later today when we get off the show, but, yeah, no, I think I said one of the last times that, our indoor treadmill is, hurting my knee, and so it's kinda like that's the only option I have lately. So it's kinda just really put a pause on a lot of the running, unless school's happening, and then it's like it's still tough to run in the snow. I'm not really sure how good of a run I'm gonna get, because there's no shoulder and there's really nowhere to run unless you're on the street, and it's not really great either. So
No,
we'll
it's
see.
pretty dangerous. Certainly in the back roads too. It does feel like it's a bit dangerous to be out running in the streets.
Yeah, there's like one side street here that's just like a little neighborhood, and I feel like I'm just gonna be going up and down until my run's done today.
Yeah, that's
So
boring. That's tough mentally to sort of just keep doing that.
yeah. No, for sure. So, we'll see. I'm getting there. The last winter series, this is like the first year ever that this is now the second race that has had to be the date has had to be changed because we keep getting the Sunday snow. So we're supposed to have another race last weekend. It got postponed, which is good because I'm not sure what is wrong with me that I am not writing these dates down. I did not even have it in my calendar. But I have some written in my calendar. It's like I'm just like not with it. So I don't know. It hasn't been rescheduled yet, but it's going to be allegedly.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm sure on a prior podcast I did say I would do at least
you
one of
did.
those winter series, and I said the words "at least,"
Mm-hmm.
which makes me feel like I'm gonna have to really backtrack and say I don't know that I'm gonna get one of the winter series in this year. They stopped. There's only probably a couple left, right?
So if the last one happened, there will only be two left. But I think the last one is like early March this year. So it's not
All right,
like
I
you
got a
got
shot
time.
then. Yeah, I got a shot.
Yeah,
Yeah, well,
that's
and
good.
I'm not here half the time now, so I
I
mean, I'm
know.
bouncing back and forth to Florida, so and there's always a constraint, whether it be some kind of doctor's appointment or something that makes me come back and forth. So I'm not necessarily looking for another constraint, but we'll see if it works out. I'm not going to promise I'm going to go to one of these now. All right, let's jump into the
Okay.
news.
Yeah, let's
All
do
right.
it.
I think like last year, if you recall, there were a bunch of indoor world records. Grant Fisher being one of the guys who set, I think, the 2,000 and 3,000 meter indoor world record last year.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I didn't feel like it paid off for him because it felt like his outdoor season, he was tired after Grand Slam track, blah, blah, blah. So
Mhm.
anyway, that's happening again this year. Not necessarily Grant Fisher, but there were two world indoor records set at the New Balance Indoor Grand Prix 2026 in Boston. So number one, Hobbs Kessler beat Grant Fisher they both actually went past the prior world record that was really, you know, 10 years plus old, if not 20 years old. So it was an old, long-standing world record, but this was in the 2,000 meters. Hobbs Kessler ran a 4:48.79. So that was the new American and world record. So impressive. Hobbs Kessler off to a good start. If you recall, I think he ended up missing the world championships last year after a sort of disappointing U.S. championship. So, yeah, so Hobbs Kessler, congrats to him. Grant Fisher came in second. Uh, we'll see how that pays off for his half marathon that you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, Cole Hocker, who you also know, Cole Hocker set the American record the day before. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, there was a like a hokey invitational on Friday, and he set the American record. Didn't beat the world record at the time, but he set the American record. Cole Hocker is the reigning Olympic champion and the reigning world champion, 1,500 meters, and then 5,000 this past world championships. So again, impressive guy, but he didn't hold the world record, the American record for long.
He typically has a slow start to his season, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. He is a sort of a big event guy. Seems like he really focuses and peaking at those sort of world championships historically. You know,
Yeah.
world championships and Olympics. So this, yeah, I agree. It's a little bit unusual that he's sort of peaking early for this kind of a run. The other one, Josh Hoey, another guy that I think had a similar season last year where he didn't necessarily have the greatest of outdoor seasons last year. Was good early on, and then in the World Championships didn't. I'm sorry, in the American trials he didn't do well. But anyway, he set the world record in the indoor 800 meter. This one was a 29-year-old record, and
Oh.
interesting, he was paced by his brother. So it was good. I saw both of them on YouTube, and that's the sort of the world record. Those are the two world records that have been set so far this year.
Yeah. Well, it's
And
exciting. We're already off to a fun indoor season.
yeah, I feel like it's almost mirroring last year. Like last year, we had those two indoor world records by Grant, I mentioned earlier, and then the sort of world records sort of stopped for a while.
Yeah. Hmm.
So anyway, the last one I would mention was your boy Noah Lyles.
Whoa.
Same event, same, you know, on the Grand Prix that I just mentioned. He was there. He was running the 300 meters,
What
so
a
a little bit
weird
longer
race.
than his normal distance. He was against Jareem Richards, who's a 400-meter champion. So I'll give you a little bit of snippet of what. So little drama by Noah Lyles, right? So
Shocker.
yeah, shocker. So he wanted to do sort of a WWE, you know, sort of the World Wrestling Entertainment Experience. So he is the in lane 4. So he should have been introduced already, but he gets introduced last because he's Noah Lyles. And I think his agent maybe is also sponsoring one of the sponsor events. So anyway, he gets to introduce last. And they pan to him, and he's not on the track. And they can't find him. They can't find him in quotes. Then they're painting around looking for him, and they find him with a spotlight in the stands. He stands up, puts his arms up, rips off his sweatpants, jumps over the railing and goes down to the track. And this all takes maybe a minute or so plus, which is probably a long time when you're all standing in the blocks ready to go for your event. So, you know, a little bit of a WWE type style for Noah Lyles. Now, he did perform well, but he did get beat at the line by Jareem Richards. So, congrats to Jareem, and uncongrats to Noah Lyles. Are you surprised?
I'm not surprised. I'm also just like conflicted because I do love I love theatrics. We've talked about this so many times, right? Like we want to see people getting more into track and like
Yep.
you making it more fun because like that whole what is that like Savannah bananas banana whatever that that baseball team that dances, you know?
Yeah, yeah, I think it's the
Right,
Savannah Bananas, yeah.
okay, like, it's a thing, right? And, like, something could make people more into track. It's just so annoying that, like, Noah Lyles is the one who tries stuff, and he's just insufferable, right? Like, if he didn't have such an annoying personality, like, there's a way to be, I think, flashy. I imagine these baseball people, like, not all of them everyone hates, like, right? Like, people collectively don't like Noah Lyles. He's so annoying, and whiny and just like, ugh, not the hero. Um,
I
and,
know,
like, you
I'm with
can't
you.
have
I
a
had the
heel.
same exact reaction. It's I agree. We need more personalities and we need more entertainment in track and field to get an audience. As you like you, I'm always annoyed that it's always Noah Lyles, right? Why can't other people have personalities? Should I just give him credit and say it's great for the sport? Or should I be annoyed by him because he's always the guy, look at me, look at me, look at me. I don't know. I'm conflicted. Clearly, I'm right now landing on the side of Noah Lyles is annoying me. But okay.
Yes. No, he's annoying, I agree. Yeah, so kind of that yeah, yeah, and it's also just, like, it's one of those things, you can't have it both ways, but it's like, "Oh my gosh, you're making a huge deal, and then you don't even win," like,
Yep.
meh. But,
Yeah.
not everyone
Yeah.
can win, and, like, you can't just be like, only try hard or only be funny and cool when you're a winner, like, that's not, it either, but, ugh, yeah, he's
Yeah,
just
and he did
annoying.
throw some stuff out on social media that he's like, he's there's no world championships or Olympics this year, so he's taking on anyone who wants to get their ass kicked. He's there for the taking, so let's go. Any sport, any person, any personality, he's taking them on. So
Okay, well,
okay,
whatever
some
you
other headlines.
say.
I didn't even send you these headlines. Let me just read some that I picked up today. Michael Johnson, who we all know, Grand Slam track father, creator, what do you want to call him? So Michael
Disgrace.
Johnson, by the way, running legend,
Yeah.
and I don't say that sarcastically. He is could lose $2.2 million in Grand Slam track bankruptcy.
I
So
saw that.
he personally put up $2.2 million of his own money to make the Philadelphia event that you and I went to
Mhm.
possible. Um, so I've been throwing a lot of shade on Michael Johnson over the past year since we did this, and I guess maybe 6 months, right? The bankruptcy process has been going on. He wasn't transparent and probably deserved some criticism, but also he's a guy that I think loves the sport, believes in the sport, and put up his own money to as a testament to that. So um, I got to say, I'm going to give him his props on this one and say that he did put his money where his mouth was.
Yeah. No, I agree, and it's like it does give you a little more sympathy for just, like, how everything went down. Again, still wasn't done right, but, like, you can only really know what was right in hindsight, um, sometimes, I guess. Um, and it's hard too, right? I think this is something people talk about too, is, like, to be someone who's so successful at stuff, like, you do have to have a little bit of this, like, blind delusion in your dream. You have to believe wholeheartedly that, like, what you want to happen is happening, and because otherwise it's not gonna happen, and it's like, unfortunately, that does lead to failures, and then unfortunately, this case,
Epic
it led to failures
failures.
that affected so many people, you know what I mean? But it's just like, yeah, if you're a person who plays it safe, like, you don't start a new track league, you don't become the best at something, you don't it's such a
Yeah.
hard thing because it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah, you can
yeah, you
play
have
it
to be a
safe.
little delusional.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, it's the fake it till you make it mentality. And unfortunately, if you're faking it till you make it, there are many people who are going to fake it and then don't make it. And it's going to be an epic disaster. And we've got a few of those in business that have happened. And this one here happens to be track and field slash business, a little bit of both.
Do you remember Fire Festival? Did you, like, ever know all about the Billy McFarland stuff?
I've heard it referenced a few times, but no, I definitely do not know anything about it.
Okay, I watched a documentary. It was, like, pretty interesting, but I feel like I just thought of this, like, it's only funny if you, like, know all about it, but it is, like, this is, like, slightly the Fire Festival of track and field because it was just, like, big fail, people lost money, people are stranded, the cheese sandwich of it all, it's like a whole thing, but, yeah, but Michael Johnson doesn't seem like a scammer like Billy McFarland because again, he put up his own money, so
Yeah, yeah. A couple of other headlines I read, and these are all courtesy of Let'sRun.com. Kelvin Kiptums By the way, Kelvin Kiptum is the men's marathon world record holder. Young man, unfortunately died, passed away 2 years ago in a car accident shortly after he set the world record. Kelvin Kipton's father accuses his daughter-in-law of conspiring with high-ranking official to control Kipton's fortune. And the first paragraph is Kipton's father says, they're living in poverty since their world record holder son died in a car crash 2 years ago, claiming Kipton's widow has taken control of his estate. So sort of the sad. I mean, I just read that one. I didn't go deep into the article, but I thought it was sort of like, sort of just a sad state of affairs. Um, people are living in poverty. It's a sad situation.
Yeah, and just like messy family stuff. It's just
Can you bring
uh
an uplifting view to this one?
hmm?
Can you bring some upbeatness to this one?
I no. No. No, I can't. That's such a shame.
Yeah,
It's just so hard to, like, know, what side of what story. I feel like these things come out anytime someone has, like, any kind of notoriety. Yeah, you find and that passes away. It's like, something
yeah. The
something
battle for
weird's
the estate.
happening.
Yeah, the
Mhm.
battle for the estate afterwards is always messy.
Yeah, and I'm remembering, like, not too probably, like, last year that, you remember Twitch, the dancer who
Oh
also
yeah,
was, like, on the Ellen Show? Right, like, there was, like, a whole drama with, like, his wife and how she handled things after the fact, and then she wrote a book and released his, like, diary. It was just, like, a whole it just, like, always gets messy, and it's just, unfortunate that, like, when you're famous and you're not here anymore, like, we can still talk about all of your personal stuff afterwards, you know?
by the way, this is breaking news for me. Twitch is dead?
Oh, yeah, he committed suicide a
Oh
couple
my
of years
god,
ago.
really?
Yeah, his kids were still I mean, I think his kids are still pretty young, but yeah, his kids were very young. Yeah.
Okay, wow, alright, like a second of silence for Twitch because I just hearing about this. Maybe I knew about it before, just had totally forgotten because it wouldn't have been somebody. I mean, I know who he is and I've seen him on TV shows, but obviously not in the last year.
And maybe
Uh,
I mean, maybe I'm even wrong on the timeline. It could have been, like, 3 years ago, like, still during COVID stuff. I'm not exactly sure. It could have been lost in the COVID headlines.
yeah, and he's just a guy that I would have known, but not wouldn't have been following in any way, shape, or form. So, all
Yeah.
right. Also on the Kenyan side, the Kenyan news side, because Kelvin Kipton was Kenyan.
Let's
Faith
guess more
Kipyegon.
doping.
Yeah. There is doping too. That's the
Oh,
third
no.
headline. But before we get to doping, Faith Kipyegon, who's not accused of doping,
Woo!
um, has a groundbreaking ceremony for a mother and children's hospital she is building in her hometown in Kenya. That's the headline, and we won't go any further than that because that's all you got to say is Faith Kipyegon, love her.
She's just the best.
She is the best. Now, maybe some dirt will come out later on because that always seems to happen for the people who are quote the best. But yeah, man, I do love Faith Kipyegon. All right, and then a 2:07:25 marathon, Kenyan marathoner, Matu Sampuru test positive for testosterone. That's also in the headlines for the Kenyan news.
Ugh.
Yeah, I don't know him, but a 2:07 marathoner. I mean, in Kenya, that's probably not top 10, but not pedestrian. Certainly
Yeah,
not.
it's still really good.
Still very good.
Ugh, man. That's so annoying.
So we have some pregnancy news.
Yeah,
By the way,
yay!
it's not you, just for
Thank
anyone listening.
God.
I,
Thank
I'm
God.
I'm assuming it's not you. I can't be throwing that out there. Like I don't know.
100% it is not me. Woo.
Okay, who's pregnant? Because you sent me the article.
Sydney McLaughlin. I honestly was shocked. I don't know. I mean, did it shock you too? I just was like, "Whoa, no way."
Yeah, I mean yeah. I mean, it shouldn't shock me, right? Young person, married. By the way, I thought she was married to a track athlete. I didn't realize she was married to an ex-football player.
Mhm. Yeah.
Again, something else that I probably knew at some point in my life and then forgotten, but I was thinking she was married to a track guy, but
No,
no, you knew that because you're
I didn't.
into yeah, you do know these people. I don't know these people.
I
Yeah, I don't follow. But yeah, so she's pregnant. I mean, it's a year when there's not an Olympic or World Championship, so timing's good. Um,
Yeah.
will she bounce back? I mean, we've talked about it before. It's hard to bounce back.
Oh, whoa, you can't say bounce back. That is like, the
Well,
mommies will come
oh,
for you.
oh my God. Oh, sorry. I just got canceled.
Yeah, the moms will come for you. Bounce back culture is toxic, but I know what you mean. Um, yeah, so,
Why
I
is
hadn't
bounce
even
back
thought
bad?
everything's bad, you know this. You can't say anything anymore ever. Um, you know who ruined bounce back? It's the moms of the internet, so we should just
Oh,
blame
okay.
ourselves.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so I guess if I thought more about it, which I really didn't, I just was like, "Whoa, how exciting and, like, crazy." I just didn't think, because like, I feel like we just don't hear that much about her besides, like, how amazing she's at running, right? You don't, like you said, you didn't really even realize who she was married to. We just don't, like, talk that much about her personal life that much, just because there's so much to talk about with her performance. Um, but yeah, I hadn't really put together like, "Oh, it's, not an Olympic year, it's not a huge deal," it's like, yeah, why not now? So it makes sense. And like you said, right, like, she's young, they've been married for a while, like, why not? They probably want kids, blah, 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 all the things. Um so yeah, so no, I mean, it's exciting, and we see so many of these runners who we talked about this not that long ago, because it was somebody else, a marathoner. Was it, I forget who now, Ruth, maybe? Someone recently also
Sure,
like is
sure. I
changing.
don't know which one it was, by the way. I threw that out there because you said Ruth, but I'm not saying nope. Let's just cancel that. Go ahead. Keep going.
Cancel everything. Um, but yeah, I mean, we see so many of these runners come back and perform amazing, right? Like, um, we also unfortunately have seen so many runners say that, like, even if they could perform physically, like, it just the toll of coming back and their contracts and all those things, like, there's other things on a different side that make it really hard for them to come back and run well. But we've seen so many of them come back and run amazing times, record-breaking times after having babies, and doesn't seem to really slow them down. So
Yeah,
yeah,
Faith
I think
Keaton-John's a good example right there, right? So she set a world record last year in the 1500 meters, I believe.
yeah.
So after and her son is, I don't know, 3 years old. So
Yeah, I would say she's a good example. Allison Felix is a good example.
yeah,
Um, Shelly Ann is a good example. I'm sure there's
yeah,
so many more.
yeah. I'm sure there's some great examples on both sides. The ones that are difficult to come back, and there's, as you know, there's many young women in particular. I think that are phenoms early on in their running career that whether it be burnout, psychological, physical. I'm sure it's a lot of all of the above that sort of derail their career. Weight loss and all those things that sort of come along with the social pressures or coaching pressures, as we saw with.
Mary Kane.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, it's a tough one, but yeah, it's great for her. Congrats to her, and I hope that she's able to come back. She's one of America's best hopes for Olympic gold in track and field.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Yeah, I'll be excited to see what because I feel like we just got into like this phase with her where she's like, okay, I've mastered the 400-meter hurdles. I'm branching out, and we've seen her just dominate other things. It's like I was kind of ready to just keep seeing her dominate more things, and maybe that's what we will see when she comes back. She might pivot in another direction. Who knows? So yeah, super exciting. Congratulations to them. Can't wait to see super cute baby.
yeah, absolutely. And I saw that Femke Ball is who I also every time you say Sydney, I think of her because she's the
I'm sure she
uh,
loves that.
yeah, I'm sure she's the Netherlands equivalent to Sydney McLaughlin. But yes, and she actually just also changed events from the 400-meter hurdles to the 800 meters, and she's making her debut in 1 month. I think it's early February.
I
So
was
we'll
about
see
to
how,
ask if you've seen her run it yet, but okay, February.
February 8th. She is doing it at Metz, METZ. I don't know what Metz is, but it's a track and field event where she's running and she's going to do her 800-meter debut.
Yeah, awesome.
Predictions on her? Is she going to be one of the top five in the world in the 800 meters?
What are these 800-meter people running? What, like 154s, 153s, 154s?
Yeah, I think 152 might be the world record for women, and are in that range. But yeah, I think yeah, you got to crack two. Um, and to be competitive, and then you're getting narrowing down to the 154 range to be probably an Olympic final range.
And what is she running her has she done an open 4? She probably has, right? Well, we've seen her do the 400-meter leg of a 4x4, but has
Yeah,
she done
I actually don't know her 400-meter best time.
Yeah, I think she'll probably be you said top 5. I'll give her top 10.
Top 10 in the world. Okay, all right.
Yeah,
We'll see how it goes. I'm with you on that one. I don't know that she's going to be one of the best in the world. One of the top, like, I don't think she's going to be the world record holder in the 800 meters, but
no.
I mean, she's not the world record holder in the 400-meter hurdles or the 400 meters. So that's a tall task to say you're going to jump to the 800 event you're not necessarily most famous for and sort of dominate. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
All right, I know we're getting long on time, so we're gonna go flow through a couple more because I when we get to the science stuff on my side, I get a little bit confused. So we're gonna go to first of all, 60-year-old ran a world record for the age group of a 5:26. That makes my 7-minute mile not sound so bad, does it? Now it's a woman, so
I was
but
gonna say, does it?
I don't know. I feel like me competing against a world record woman.
Yeah, yeah.
That's impressive. Again, 7 minutes and 5:26 is a pretty big gap still.
I was gonna say, you're gonna be starting your 4th lap when she's finishing.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
feel like I'm hanging with her for 3 laps. And I say
Yeah.
when I say hanging with her, I mean I'm on the same lap as her.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I feel you. No,
Yeah.
it would be good. I think we
Yeah.
should try to find that matchup. Let's enter
Yeah,
you in a
I'll
Masters
do a
women's race.
virtual run with her.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think she probably runs, like, open meets, right? Like, at the Masters level we could find you a Masters meet to run.
Yeah, I don't know if I can qualify for a master's meeting. Maybe there's gotta be qualifications to get in, I'm sure.
You think? Yeah,
I think
probably.
they wouldn't just let anyone in, I would imagine.
Wow, yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. So I say on the science side, but this one's a little, I think, easier to understand. So on the science side, one of the headlines was narrowing your visual focus can improve performance. And I think this probably goes like a zone kind of a concept, right? Getting into the zone. But the idea being for these long distance runs, you probably felt this before. It's when you're running and you're sort of aware of what's around you. You're looking at the other people. You're looking at the scenery. Yeah, that can be good and that can help the time pass sometimes. But as far as a performance goes, if you can narrow in and sort of narrow your focus to a point, maybe it's the runner in front of you or a tall building into the distance, mentally you can perform both mentally and physically. You can perform better and get more out of your body by doing that. So it was a good article about that. I thought that was interesting. Do you ever experience that in any of the races you've done?
Um, like, somewhat, right? And I'm trying to remember, was it I'm totally blanking. Brian Ellis? Is that the right you remember
Yeah,
when we interviewed
yeah.
the
Long. He's an ultra marathoner, right? Was he the guy? Yeah,
Mhm. So he talked about this not with, like, the same words, but he talked about the, like, mental fatigue you get and how that is, like, also just draining your body and how he, like, sometimes would run with music, but sometimes he isn't. Sometimes he's talking to people, but, like, he can't just do that the whole time. He does need to, like, whether it's his music, focus in on something, um, to then, like, be able to do, an amazing job with his race. So, yeah, we've seen that from other people. I mean, yeah, like, I mean, I'm never really running for, like, performance, I feel like, anymore. Um, but yeah, I mean, you get in a rhythm, you do focus if you're starting to worry about this person, that person, and I'm sure you've noticed this too, like, if you start to get too locked into, like, someone around you, or you're now focusing on the people going around you, or where's the next bathroom break, like, you do start to whether it is actually fatiguing you or it's just like that your focus is so off, um, yeah, it does, like, it drains you, it starts to mess up what you're accomplishing. I recently was reading a book about just, like, human evolution, and they were talking about, like, why humans sometimes don't make sense evolutionarily because of how much energy our brain uses just by, like, existing, and, like, the I forget what the output is, but it's, like, so much higher than other animals just because of how big our brains are, and it's like, yeah, the amount of food you need to consume to fuel your brain. So yeah, if your brain is now working hard to focus on a bunch of other things, like you are now draining the stores that you have that are for your race. So yeah, I totally get that.
Yeah.
I know if I'm like I try to have a playlist. I try not to have to like skip around because if you're like, fumbling with the phone, trying to think of a different song, like, yeah, you're getting really out of your rhythm. So yeah, I guess I've seen that without like in so many words thinking of it that way. And we're just like, wow, if your brain's not focused, you're like not really doing well, you know?
Yeah, yeah, no, I've had the same experience. I think I certainly can recall runs like, again, these are sort of official marathons or half marathons where you sort of get locked in and, whether the music just fades away or you have issues with it and you sort of get into that zone where you're not thinking about how tired you are because, as you know, right, you're usually your mind screaming like, "Hey, find a way to stop." "Hey, doesn't your Achilles hurt? Does shouldn't you aren't you tired? Don't you want to stop? Wouldn't it feel better to stop right now?"
Right.
So you just sort of lose all that when you can sort of just get into that rhythm of I'm just focused on the things in front of me. I'm not thinking about how tired I am or how something hurts or anything like that. So I certainly have experienced it. Um, so yeah, I think that's probably a great thing. But they're talking about also is try to consciously do it, right? So is try to bring yourself in for if you're in a race to not just look around at the scenery at some point in time as you begin to fatigue, start to focus in on something either right in front of you, the 10 feet in front of you, or 5 miles out, then that may help you sort of get past some of those tough stretches of a race.
Yeah. No, that totally makes sense. I think that's good advice.
Yeah. And I don't know whether you saw the article about the Norwegian singles approach. I thought it was a dating approach at first when I saw the headline, but no, it's a running technique. And I don't know. I'm not going to go into it too deep, but I did think it was a good article on the Running Channel. It's their no, it's really similar to a lot of the things we've talked about. 80-20 rule. It sort of delves into those. I guess the nuance with the Norwegian singles approach is you sort of run it below the threshold, the lactic acid threshold. Instead of having your sort of your speed days above that, where you're going to fatigue and you can't run further, this here is going to keep you just below that, and you do 2 or 3 training techniques and that or training workouts in that zone. And they have some good examples of what some of those are. They're different speed workouts, but it's just at a different pace, and it's good for athletes that are maybe don't really get the thrill and oomph out of doing those high intensity sort of 800 meters that are really above the threshold where you're so fatigued you're done. These are a little bit at a lower level and you can get some aerobic benefits from it. So I don't know if you saw the
Yeah.
article or not, but this is where I said science can getting into lactic thresholds and zones is so complicated. And I don't know that the masses are really that sort of into it the same way that maybe you or I are.
Yeah. It's interesting because I feel like I haven't really heard people talking about this either, but I think I'm very much in the like 80-20 easy running all the time realm. So it becomes like an echo chamber of like that's all we're doing, you know? Um Yeah, I mean, I think it definitely looks interesting. I feel like it's like I also like that they talk about like who it's best suited for versus who it's like less suited for. So I think that's kind of nice that if like someone's looking to change up their routine, it would be like, okay, does this make sense to be something to try? Um, it's like a fun name, the Norwegian singles. Like you said, it does sound like some kind of dating thing because I feel like we sometimes come across like dating in your running group and other kinds of silly articles like that too. So that is kind of funny. I think, like you said, the science part, I do think it also is like it gets tricky because the average person doesn't know like what their threshold pace is anyway. And so now we're adding like an extra metric of like now we're doing the sub threshold. What is all of this stuff? And unless you're actually going to like a testing center where someone's gonna do the threshold test with you and, it's like your watch can only have so much of a good gauge of the yeah, it's just it gets a little messy, and I feel like when we're splitting hairs like that and it's, like, already, like, murky territory, it's like you could be doing all this stuff based on a number that's actually not the right numbers. It's just like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Um,
And so the article, if you like you said, it's from a standpoint of if you're someone who's just looking for something to try something different, if you already are doing a bunch of doing some long runs, doing some base work, and you really want to just get to a little bit of speed work, but don't want to start doing all out 400 meters and 800 meters. This is a little bit, I'd say, a more manageable pace. And they have some examples of the workouts are 10 3-minute runs, and
mhm.
this should be at your just below the threshold level. And again, what that means is you're running at a pace that you could run for maybe almost an hour, right? So it's a pace you could sustain. So therefore, it's not taxing to where at the end of 3 minutes you are flat out done, which a lot of speed workouts would be that type of workout. This here would be much more a sustainable pace where you could run it for a longer period of time. So these 10 3-minute runs are a little bit more manageable. They're certainly faster than your easy run, but more manageable than maybe just an all out 3-minute run.
Agreed.
All right. So anyway, that's the science side, which we skipped most of the science.
Oh, was I supposed to get into the science?
What's that?
I said, was I supposed to get into the science
No,
of the
no, you
science
were
part?
not. No, I that was me because I was the one who put the article out there. But I'm like, like you said, I don't know that 99% of the people who run or listen to podcasts about running are people who even know what their lactic threshold is, or run at that pace. They really just go out and run like you and I do for the most part. I do easy runs, I do some long runs, and occasionally I do some speed work. So,
Yeah, I mean, again, it's probably like a personal bias, but I do think it's easier to have someone evaluate and find their easy pace, and then add some speed in to mean like make sure you're keeping your form up. Then have someone, because I feel like I say this to runners sometimes too, where I'm like, you should be running a pace that you can hold for another 2 or 3 miles, and I'm like, that's so relative too, though, I mean, I get that easy pace can be relative too, because it's like what feels easy to me doesn't always feel easy to someone else. It's what your, like, tolerance is for pain as well. But yeah, I feel like that's such a hard metric for someone to come up with of like, is this a pace that I could probably hold for an hour? Maybe. And like I said, unless you're doing the testing with, like, the blood work and all that stuff, like, you're not going to know for certain. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think anyone who's getting bored with their routine, give it a try, check it out. Um,
and
especially
you'll
if
find
you're
that. Sorry,
Mhm.
yeah, I didn't mean to cut you off. Yeah, you'll find that on the running channel. This is where I give credit for the websites that actually put this stuff out. So,
Yes. Yes, the running channel, they have a breakdown of who it's good for, who it's not good for marathon training, different workout cool. If you're looking to get faster, I would not recommend if you're trying to like maintain your speed if you're pretty speedy and you're working on shorter distances, also probably not recommending, just because there you are when you're not running fast, it's harder to run fast, and so that's just kind of always the way that running and training really works. So that's just something to think about. But yeah, I mean, it is a cool approach to building or maintaining an aerobic base or improving your aerobic capacity, so I like it.
all right. Well, that's all I got today.
That's all you got. All right. Well, I am going to eventually go out for my run as well. Hopefully next week I will remember to post again that we are going live, but typically it's going to be on Tuesdays at like 9:45. Check out our YouTube channel. It is also confusing because it's the American Run Club YouTube channel. But you can find us there. If you look for us on Facebook, it also should have the link to find our YouTube channel so you can tune in. And then, like I said before, I don't even know how to monitor the comments and chat. So enter at your own risk. But yeah, make sure you subscribe and share with a friend.